Morning, everyone. It's Friday morning, end of the week, beginning of a long weekend. There's no market on Monday. Still haven't bothered to find out whether the bonds are open or closed, but seeing as it's a federal holiday, I assume banks, post office, bond market will also be closed with our stock markets. Okay, there's really not much going on this morning as far as net changes. I'm also going to guess that there are people who are already leaving town or at best having a half day today, trading wise. The Dow was down a little bit more, but right now it's showing a down opening of about 25 bucks, about 13 in the Nasdaq, and about 7 in the S&P. They are weakening a little after a little bit of a rally, but I have a feeling it's more the absence of news than it is any bad news. There was bad news, however, in the UK. Their economy is projected to finish their fiscal year down 9.9%, which is one of the biggest drops historically for them. And Europe is slightly lower. But as far as Asia's pretty much closed down. It's the Lunar New Year, and everything comes to a standstill there. Okay, so Disney park income down 53%. Number of subscribers for Disney Plus 94,900,000. That is a monstrous number. As I mentioned last night, they weren't expecting that for another 2 years. And these are paid. These are not the, buy a pizza, get Disney Plus for 60 days or that kind of thing. So that is really incredible. And they're now talking about if we do get higher numbers in the vaccines. Dr. Fauci is talking about anybody who wants one getting one by the end of April. Then that Bob Capek, the CEO, said that would be a major game changer for them on the reopening of the parks while Disney Plus is continuing to grow. Carl Icahn took a position 7.8% in BHC. Pardon me. That is Bausch Health, and it used to be called Valiant. And if you recall, that was a major problem for Bill Ackman. The stock went from 300 to where it is now. It's currently, in the 30s, but it's had a nice run back to the upside. Bitcoin, more news, kind of interesting. There are several banks that have come out and said that they expect to see Bitcoin demand, and that is demand of their customers to be able to continue to use that as an asset class. And they're just saying that, over the next couple of years, they definitely see that happening. On the other hand, PayPal, who set the market on its ear a couple of weeks ago, saying that they, along with Square and MasterCard and all the ones that I've mentioned in the last couple of days, were going to be dealers in Bitcoin. PayPal came out and said, yeah, we're going to facilitate it, but we're not investing in it, which, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, seems the smartest thing to do. Again, as I said the other day, I cannot imagine putting a piece of any company's balance sheet into an item that can move up and down 30-40% every week. The ranges on Bitcoin are really getting extreme. After I get finished with this, I'll show you on the chart on the screen. Bumblebee came yesterday, priced at 43, opened at 76, traded to 79.60, finished the day around 70. 70.80, I believe. It's up about $3.50 this morning, trading 73. This is an interesting one. Coherent, COHR. Uh, at the end of the year, the stock was 119. A month ago, or actually only about 10 days ago, it was 145. Today it's trading at 264, up 37.80 on a takeover bid of 260. And the reason that it's trading higher is because there are actually three bidders for the company. So that might be fun to watch in the next couple of days. I was trying to figure out before I knew what the bottom line was why it was only up 16.4% today, being that most of these takeovers are done at much bigger premiums. And that's when I went back and looked at the year-end pricing and the pricing before any of this started. Cloudflare, symbol NET, 82 and a quarter, down 6, even though it beat both top and bottom line and gave better guidance. And, one of the meme stocks, SPCE, Virgin Galactic, 54, down 5.5. On February 1st, 2 weeks ago, essentially, 2 trading weeks ago, they announced that they were going to start commercial flights. Today, not so much. There are no flights that are going to be scheduled. They are going to try and figure out when the next window would be for a couple of flights. And so the stock is down. I mean, this stuff gets jerked around like there is no tomorrow. And frankly, for some of them, there is no tomorrow. We just don't know which ones when they're up 200 or 300%. In any event, I question space travel as an industry for the public, but clearly there's a lot more to do. Delivery of payloads, taking people back and forth to the space station, and I'm sure that there will be other things that evolve from it. Okay, so the chart on the screen is the gold, and this is a dramatically disappointing chart. The CBO today came out and said that the deficit for the year pre-Biden stimulus will be 2.26 trillion. That's the deficit. That's not the total. The total's probably up around 9 or 10 times that, which is wildly bullish for metals, especially when you consider the debasing of the dollar and the fact that it's rallying a little right now, which is probably one of the reasons why the gold is down about 12 today. But the dollar is not going anywhere majorly to the upside. And the gold, this is the weekly, has had sell-offs, had a sell-off here. This was in March of last year when everything was being liquidated. Sold off again here on some news. I honestly don't remember what it was, but it was the end of November. But it came right back down to the same line that it came down to here, which is the 50-week. Hit it again and bounced, but it's really not bouncing here. And we have shorted a lot of things, for example, the dollar or the bonds, on this kind of a failure to get through back to the upside. I'll show you what the dollar looks like, and I've shown it dozens of times here. It's up 28 cents, 27 cents right now. And it is a steady decliner. And so while the platinum chart, thanks again to Dennis, because he's the one who's pointed it out, the platinum chart is the opposite. This goes top left, lower right in the dollar, And the gold is really not having um, the result to the upside that would seem to be appropriate. On the other hand, versus the dollar, sort of, we have Bitcoin. You can't get more lower left to upper right than Bitcoin. I mean, it's just been monumental, and it made a new high yesterday, and it made a new high overnight, 49,500. That's not much of a new high, but nonetheless, it is a new high. Okay, so the S&P is now showing down 11. The Dow is showing down about 30. NASDAQ is showing down about 35. So I'm just going to warn you, be careful out there. There is another piece of news coming. I believe it's at 10 o'clock, and that's the sentiment index, consumer sentiment index, University of Michigan number. I thought it was out at 8:30, but it was not. So I'm assuming 10 o'clock. All right, everyone. Have a good long weekend. Be careful out there. It's treacherous, and try not to take oversized positions in the pot stocks yet.